It's time for Quick Calls with Mike the Ref on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network.
All right, we got everybody filing out of the near sold out Fritzick Memorial Center here in Lethbridge with the Pure Power Wrestling Leo Burke Cup. Hey folks, it's Mike the Ref here, and I got a very special guest, and with our special guests, we always let them introduce themselves, so feel free.
Hello, I am Madness Mackenzie, a senior ref for Pure Power Wrestling.
I know you've been on the mend here lately, and
yes, I have. I'm hopefully getting back in January, and let's keep our fingers crossed.
But I do know that you were here in a supervisory level here, so
yes.
You did get a chance to check out most of the matches tonight. I know you got.
Yep.
I know there were some issues outside the building you had to deal with. I think you were trying to get Vinny Valentine's car towed.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, sometimes you have to deal with that guy.
I wasn't supposed to mention that. My bad. Sorry.
No.
But anyway, let's get to the matches, folks, because the Leo Burke Cup is always a great tournament. So right off the bat, we had our first qualifying match with Cato taking on the real deal Sydney Steele. Now, Cato got an early jump start in this match, and it looked like he was going to get the victory. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Angelica comes up to the ring apron, and it seems that Cato has a fascination with young felines, if you get my drift. Sydney Steele manages to sneak in behind, get the roll-up cover, 1, 2, 3, and advances to the final of the Leo Burke Cup.
Yep.
Well-deserved, but Cato should have had that match if he would have actually been focused on the match.
On the match instead of her. Exactly. I totally agree with you.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand why he would be distracted, but that's another story for another channel. Moving on to our second match here, we had T.S. Cutler, the Rainbow Rocker, taking on the headline Sean Martins. Now, Cutler has been getting better every show that we've seen him, and it showed in this show. As he was taking on the headline, he was in line to get this victory, but then, of course, the shot to the Rockets there leads to his finisher. Another one bites the dust, and he ends up getting the 1, 2, 3 victory for the headline. So, your thoughts on the match?
Well, that's kind of a good feud, those two. TS, he's a new guy coming in here. The crowd gets behind him. He does his job. Sean Martins, though, he's a tough customer. He's part of that kind of group with the heels, and I don't know. I think Cutler has his work cut out with him. Martins, he's a dirty player, and he can win any means necessary for sure.
Well, one thing we can say for sure here is the fact that the feud is definitely not over between T.S. Cutler and the headline Sean Martins.
No, I totally agree.
And then from there, we had an interruption by one of the newest members to the Pure Power Wrestling roster, Cowboy Bryn Watts. He comes down and he's absolutely demanding a match. And interim commissioner / my unfortunate color commentator, Mr. Billy Valentine, decides to go in the back, throws out the Killer Bee to work this match.
Yeah. Well, the Killer Bee, he has a little trouble winning the matches, but he's always there fighting. He gives himself a chance every night.
Well, I'm sorry, tonight.
He
got murdered. I'm sorry, I'm calling it straight up. That was a good old-fashioned gunfight. And the Killer Bee didn't even bring a rubber knife with him.
Cowboy Bryn Watts is kind of interesting coming into PPW. He has a history of being kind of the bad guy. He comes in. He's got history with Copeland. It's interesting, this Cowboy guy coming into PPW, because we're going to see more of him and see what he's really about.
Oh, definitely. And coming up December 30th, they're obviously going to have him headlined. No pun intended to Mr. Martins, but the performance by Bryn here definitely puts him in line for the cruiserweight titles. So.
I would say so, for sure.
But then going from there, from a squash to a match that, let's face it, looked like on paper, this was literally going to be a squash. And I'm talking pancake squash.
Pancake
folks.
squash.
We got the All-American Steve Rivers with referee Rick Jules in his corner. Well, I'll just say it straight up, in his corner. For lack of a better term.
It was tough.
He gives referees like us
a bad name. Watching that was very disappointing because...
Well, he was taking on Jumping Josh, who, let's face it, folks, he's maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
If.
This kid had heart, though. I got to give him that. He had the heart of a warrior out there, but it ended up being a 2-on-1.
Most of the match.
Halfway through the match,
yeah.
Rivers gave Jules
his
ref
bandana,
shirt, and Jules gave the ref shirt to Rivers.
I've never seen that before. That was kind of bizarre.
It finally broke down to the point where I think you actually called for the bell, being the senior referee.
Yeah.
Just called for the bell. It ended up being a no contest.
Yeah.
And you had a beatdown coming up with 2-on-1. You had T.S. Cutler coming in for the save. And then Sean Martins comes in and beats up T.S. Cutler. And then you have the return of the Cheetah Bear, Jude Dawkins.
Oh, that was amazing.
Folks, I am so excited for the Cheetah Bear
being back.
Now, I'm going to take you off the cuff here from PPW. Jude Dawkins' first match debuting is going to be next Saturday in Red Deer for the CWC. You're definitely going to want to check that out as he takes on Chris Parrish.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Interesting match.
Very excited about that one.
But if you want details on that, check out the CWC fan page. Let's get back to the PPW action here. As we had, folks, this rivalry has been going throughout 3 promotions now for, well, the better part of a year. They don't get the opportunity to go at it one-on-one any other promotion like they do here.
Yeah, oh yeah, with Chris Parrish and the Irishman. Oh yeah, that was probably my fight of the night because Parrish is one of the best heels in wrestling today, and Irishman, one of the favorites, fan favorites. Anywhere he goes, he's a fan favorite. They hate each other. They do not. They don't like each other at all.
No.
And
well, the venom was apparent at the end of this match, but the way it ended, you had Chris Parrish pulling the referee in front of him, causing a distraction to the Irishman. The Irishman moves the referee out of the way. Parrish gets a shot in the shamrocks to the Irishman, hits him with the POA, and then hits the crossbody off the top rope. It ends up getting the 1, 2, 3, advancing to the final of the Leo Burke Cup. But that wasn't the whole story here.
Nope.
Irishman comes back in the ring, hits his patented IRA out of nowhere, knocks Parrish out. Then ends up lawn darting him into the post. Throwing his shoulder and neck into the post. Throwing him into the stairs. And then throws him back in the ring and challenges him to a last man standing match December 30th back here at the Fritz Sick. Now,
would Parrish even be conscious enough to even hear that challenge?
From what I've heard in the back, Mr. Valentine pulled him from the
main event.
From the main event, but he should have been able to go. That's the best way to put it. But I'm not even gonna comment on that.
It's scary because Parrish. You have to wonder about next month now with Parrish being hurt.
Yeah, he's still not going to be 100% no matter what he does.
He does. So it's going to be an exciting match in the future. I'm looking totally forward to it. I think those two are the biggest rivalry.
Well, and then from there, we go on to the last match towards the Leo Burke Cup. It was Cyanide taking on Tyler James, and from what I've been told from the PPW head office, was the fastest match in PPW history in 6 seconds. It was a ankle lock knee bar from Tyler James, but the way it got set up, Cyanide actually called out Leo Burke and talked so much disrespect to him.
I'm very upset with that because
I
Leo
would be
Burke.
too.
Leo Burke is a legend. A legend. It's an honor to be a part of wrestling where he comes and takes his time to come and see the fans, see the wrestlers, see everyone. And a guy like Cyanide coming out and disrespecting him like that, it was very hard to sit back and watch that.
As far as I'm concerned, Cyanide got his just desserts.
Oh, yeah. Massive showed him.
Well,
pretty
Massive
good.
gave him a chop at ringside. He went in the ring, got caught off guard, got hit with that ankle lock knee bar, or ankle lock with the leg grapevine, whichever way you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the quick tap out. And your winner was Tyler James. Moving on to the finals of the Leo Burke Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there we go to intermission, and then one hell of a match. I'll be honest, folks. The reason I came down here is because I've heard so many good things about Travis the Heat Copeland, or THC as he's called.
THC, yeah.
As well as the future legend Cal Sebastian.
Yeah.
These two right now are PPW exclusive, and they were on opposite sides with the team known as the Adult Social Society of Cal Sebastian and the
Bradley.
Sexy Beast. Yeah, I don't want to call that. Bradley Graham taking on Massive Damage and Travis Copeland. Now, this goes back to where Sebastian cashed in his guaranteed title opportunity and stole the title
yeah.
from Massive Damage. Illegal stealing, if that's any other way you can put it.
It's the way you can say it.
Yeah. But anyway, this match here was a knockout drag-out match with
Really good.
both sides showing up real well.
Yeah.
In the end, you had the Heat hitting a cross body off the top to the outside on Bradley Graham, keeping him distracted. And then you had a spear by Massive Damage on Sebastian, who got the 1, 2, 3, and now has to
No
be
one's
in line.
getting up from that spear.
No, not at all. And it got to be in line for a PPW heavyweight
I would
title match
I would
now.
say so. Anyone that deserves it is Massive. He is #1 contender. He is the ex-champ. Him and Kyle's going to be a good match down the road. I'm looking forward to it.
I say December 30th. That's what I think. Let's end the year
Oh
on
yeah,
that note.
put it on.
But that's just my opinion, folks. That's up to the head office.
We can always have opinions.
And then we get to the Leo Burke Cup final. You got Sidney Steele, Tyler James, one-on-one. These two guys know each other way too well. It was a tit-for-tat match.
Yeah, two fan favorites going head-to-head.
You had Sidney Steele working over the neck, Tyler James working over the arm. In the end, you had a triangle choke set up by Tyler James on Sidney Steele, which Steele managed to get enough adrenaline to get him up into a cover and pin him 1, 2, 3 in a roll-up and become the Leo Burke Cup winner. Your thoughts?
You know, congratulations to Sidney Steele. It's he totally deserves it. It would have been interesting to see Parrish in there, too.
You're as bad as Vinny Valentine, seriously.
Well, Parrish deserves it. I've had my eye on him for years and years.
But you know what? We're not going to sell either one of these two guys short because
Sidney Steele deserves it. He worked hard. Tyler James worked hard. Either one deserved it. Sidney Steele came up on top. He's the new Leo Burke Cup champ.
Absolutely. And, well, that's going to wrap up the show itself. Now time to go to the highlight of the night here.
Yeah.
As a special guest and wearing a Houston Astros cap, I'll let you go first.
The champs.
After you.
Well, night of the match. Oh, yeah. There's
Match of the night.
Yeah.
We're a little backwards tonight, folks.
There's so many. I like watching Irishman and Parrish. They get me watching that much more, getting right involved, just being a fan. Their hatred for each other, their moves they do. When Parrish gets thrown into the corner. Like a lot of times you think he's dead, like he's injured, and which he ended up being injured. Irishman, a big man, strong, powerful. That was a good match. That was probably my favorite.
And for me, I told you guys I came down here to see two people specifically. I was not disappointed one little bit. And I'm going to give it to the tag match here. With a special shout out to that final. As you could hear, we're about to get kicked out right away, so we're gonna wrap this up fairly quick here. But the tag match did an absolutely fantastic job in the ring.
Yeah,
and they did not disappoint.
No.
Kyle Sebastian, Travis Copeland, massive damage. Bradley Graham. Bradley, I've made a lot of fun about him, but he definitely has stepped up his game, and he's the power of the team for sure. He's a big guy, and he likes to have fun in there, and he's definitely the raunchiest guy on the roster. Also,
he is the raunchiest. He plays. He's good.
This is going to wrap up the show, except for one small thing, folks. I've been having big announcements every week here. It seems.
Yeah.
First, we had MPW Madness. Then we had Total Nonstop Anarchy. And now, just this week, I talked to the PPW head office. And those in Lethbridge have been able to see PPW Power Slam as part of Shaw Cable Lethbridge.
Yeah.
We are in agreement now. In 2018, we are going to bring Pure Power Wrestling Power Slam to the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network video page right now.
That's good.
All the details will be coming out in 2018, but we want you guys to be able to see the video from all across Alberta. So now we got MPW, CWC, and now PPW.
Wow, good job.
And we're just getting started. Folks, we're gonna wrap this up, but our next Quick Calls episode, it's gonna be a dual episode, both audio. The PWA show from the Northgate Line Senior Center, featuring Michael Richard Blaze taking on Cody Rhodes. That's going to be headlined by me, as well as Andre C., the Wrestling Mind, Brian Hamilton. And then from Red Deer at Festival Hall, Jamie Miller, who you saw in the last Quick Calls from the Abbey Masterbuilder Center with CWC. He's going to be leading up the Quick Calls, covering the CWC Kingdom Come show, featuring Jude Dawkins in his return match, taking on Chris Parrish in a lumberjack match for the CWC title.
That would be good.
But that's going to wrap it up here.
Okay.
Madness Mackenzie.
I want to say thank you very much for coming down to Lethbridge, and welcome to Pure Power Wrestling.
If anybody wants to get a hold of you, where can they find you?
Lethbridge on Facebook, Brian Scott Mackenzie, or my fan page, Madness Mackenzie, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
And this is Mike the Ref on Twitter. Get a hold of me, theblown.callshow@gmail.com. But we're going to wrap this up here, folks. Once again, I want to thank everybody at Pure Power Wrestling for having me down. And just remember, folks, if you're going to make a good call, make a quick call. And this is Big Quick Calls from the Fritz Sitz Pool.
Fritz Sick Memorial Center.
Thank you. With Pure Power Wrestling, Leo Burke Cup, here on the Edmonton Sports Podcast.
Congrats to Sydney Steele.
This has been Quick Calls with Mike the Ref on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. Contact us on Facebook or check out edmontonspn.podbean.com.